Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Hope Leviathan. So the Hope Leviathan is the next in my series of Leviathan class ships, which basically just means that this is a late game cargo hauler, and you can go ahead and um, use all your ranks of Starship Design to go ahead and carry as much as possible. This particular ship um, carries over double my desired capacity. So when I was designing the Leviathan class, I said that it had to carry at least 10,000 cargo, and this one carries over 20,000 before skills. Beyond carrying capacity, my only other restrictions for the Leviathans are that they still have to jump 27 light years, which is the most distance between two stars, and it has to carry support a crew of at least 4. So let's go ahead and take a tour, and then I'll show you how it's built. Now this ship is built entirely out of Hope Tech parts, and you can pick up everything that you need from Hopetown here on Polvo. Alright, so entering the ship, you can see that we are immediately entering into a 3x3 cargo hold hab. Moving forward, I have a 2x1. This could be basically any 2x1 that you want, but I set it up as a living quarters. Forward of that, I have the 2x1, sorry, not 2x1, 3x1 engineering bay. And at the end of the engineering bay, I do have my docker access. Coming back here, you can see the ladder goes up 3 stories. This first story, I have a 1x1 companionway. And then through the walkway, I have a 2x1 all-in-one. And that is mirrored on the other side of the ship. Moving up one more level, I have another 1x1. And this one is actually the companionway fuselage. So inside looks the same, outside looks a little different. Forward of this, I do have my cockpit. And to the rear of it, I do have a 2x1 control station. As for changes that I would consider making to this ship, I would consider swapping this living quarters out for a workshop, but other than that, you know, everything else seems fine. Alright, so let's go ahead, take a look at how this ship is built, and then we'll see how it holds up in combat.
What can I do for you? Sure, how about it?
In case you get jumped on your way to and from your outpost management. So taking a look here, you can see all of the stats of the ship before skills. You've got the 27 light year jump range, 30 mobility, and that over 2,000 cargo here. As for color, and go ahead and get that on my palette, you can see that I chose to go with a dark blue, followed by a teal color, and then a golden accent. There we go. Now let's select everything and delete it. Alright. So, as usual, the very first thing that we're going to do when building a ship is we're going to start with the landing bay. Then we're going to go ahead and grab that 3x3 cargo hull. Grab your favorite 2x1 here. As I said, this is the living quarters, but I would consider making it a workshop instead. Forward of that, I have the 3x1 engineering bay. Then right here on that front center part, I'm of the cargo hull. I'm going to grab a companionway, and then I'm going to grab a pair of cross braces. Then at the end of each of these cross braces, I am putting a 2x1 all-in-one. Coming back over here on top of the companionway, I'm going to grab a companionway fuselage A. I'm using the A because it provides me with 3 weapon mounts. Then off the rear of that, I'm going to grab another 2x1, and this one is going to be that control station. Alright. Then, I'm going to come to the front of the engineering bay, and then go and grab my docker. And then come to my fuselage, and then go and grab the Commander 500 bridge. And there we have it. That is all the habitable portions of this ship. Alright, now what? So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my fuel tanks, of which I have 2 900T HE3 tanks. These are located on the rear section right here, and I do have to put these here and not my, say, reactor or grav drive, because these have the rear connection points that I'm going to be attaching my engines to. Moving on, for my grav drives, I'm going to go ahead and grab a J52. I could also go ahead and use the Apollo GV3000, but I need the 50 grav jump thrust for this ship. 45 from either the SGG-33 or the J51 or GV200 is going to be a little insufficient. You can go ahead and put the grav drive and reactor on either side. It does not make any difference. And speaking of reactor, I went with the Pinch 8Z because it provides 40 power and slightly more hull than the SF40. However, a very strong argument could be made for the Pinch 8A, which only provides 36 power, but you'll notice it provides a 1950 hull instead of the 1350 hull of the 8Z. So it's up to you to make a decision on exactly which one you want to prioritize. Alright, next, let's go ahead and start adding our cargo. So for this ship, I have 10 of the Galleon S204 cargo holds. 2 of them are going to be located right underneath this control station. And then the other 8 are going to be located underneath the cargo hold. Next, under the front of the engineering bay, I have 3 Polo 2030 cargo holds. These provide 1,000 cargo each. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and add 8 Caravel V102s, 2 to the outside of the all-in-ones, 2 to the outside of the fuel tanks, and then repeat it on the other side of the ship. There we go. And that is all of my cargo. Next up, let's go ahead and grab my engines. Now for this ship, I am using the SAL 6330s. These are not the best Class C engines that you can get. However, the SAL 6880s are locked behind a quest. That quest is in the main quest line. However, if you want to run a ship and you haven't bothered doing the main quest, or you went to a New Game Plus and did not want to do the main quests, then the 6330s are going to be the best that you can get. There we go. Alright. We have our engines. The only thing that we are now missing to be flyable is our landing gear. Now for this ship, I have 6 of these Hope 55 landing gears. However, this is not enough gear for this ship, as you can see, because we still have an error. So I also have another 6 Hope 6 landing gears. And do note that this rear one does clip slightly into the Hope 55 landing gear behind it, so you will need to flip glitch it into place. And there we have it. Technically, the ship is flyable now. So let's go ahead now and grab our shield. We are Class C, so we're going to go with the SG-1800 because that provides the most shield. And from here on out, all that's left is structural and weapons. So what are we going to put on? Well, up here, let's come on over to the structural tab. I'm going to add a pair of Hope Tech caps on each of these. Then right over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab nose A's, then some nose B's, alright. And then I'm going to take one of these mid pipes and put it right here. I'm going to swap the variant, so that way it clips into the shield. And then I can bring that all forward, and you can see that is all these structural pieces for this ship. Alright, that means that all I've got left now is weapons. So this is a Class C ship. I just decided to make it nice and easy for myself. I have 3 Obliterator 250 MEV Auto Alpha Beams. I have 3 Obliterator 250 MEV Auto Alpha or Auto Turrets. And then I have 4 PBO 300 Auto Alpha Turrets. And that's what looks wrong. Alright. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and add some more stuff at this point. Like, for instance, putting in some more caps here, but I did not have that in the original build, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that off. And you can fiddle with it however you want from here, but this is the ship that I built. Alright, so we have one error. We just need to assign our weapons. And our warning is just that we have low mobility. There we go. Now let's go ahead and take this ship out for a spin. Alright. Let's go ahead and lower power to my engines. And now I can pop on out here to Serpentis. And you can see that this ship still handles pretty nicely, despite technically having 30 mobility. Alright. And against two lower leveled enemies, you can see that it performs admirably. However, 2K away is not worth running up to. Alright, let's check out this hostile activity now. Alrighty. And that one's not worth getting to. Alright. So let's go ahead and check out another planet or two. And if you have watched my videos for the Nova Leviathan or the Deimos Expedition, you may notice that this ship seems to handle a lot nicer with these Sal engines than those do with the Poseidons. So, the one conclusion that I can come to from this is if you want a ship that feels like it handles better while still carrying a lot of cargo, I would look heavily at going ahead and running those Sal engines. Alright. Alright. Let's see if anybody is here to party with us. Alrighty. And I am going to go ahead and leave you guys with that. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.